We're going to take a look at how we're going to control our lighting, how we're going to set up our cameras, how we're going to work with the least amount of software possible in order to generate profits. I love to be efficient, meaning the least amount of energy in for the maximum amount of profits out. I can show you today ways slowly that we can turn into a machine. My employees joke about some of the crazy ways that I do things, and one of the things that we're going to do today is avoid Photoshop. Photoshop is a time vampire. I'm going to print to a Epson 7880 printer, and I'm not going to use Photoshop to get to it. I'm going to be able to go directly from this camera in JPEG mode to that Macintosh, to that printer, without ever going through Photoshop, and make the most beautiful portraits you've ever seen. Then I'm also going to show you how to do that much faster and more economically, because the name of the game is we want to be profitable. So I've got some of my lenses here. I typically only use premium lenses anyway. I'm a little lucky to be able to have all those nice things, which is terrific. Here's a great example. A classic portrait lens for me is a 105mm Nikon lens that's f2.0. This is going to autofocus really fast. The sharpness is terrific. The color is wonderful. The probably single most lens that I use for most of my portrait work is going to be an 85mm f1.4. Now this is Nikon, and Canon has the equivalent lenses. There also are some aftermarket lenses that are very good too. However, when it comes to zoom lenses, you have to make sure, first of all, that you buy fast zooms. So I never suggest to anybody who is wanting to get into professional photography to use f4 zooms, or don't use zooms that shift their aperture setting through the range of their zoom. A shifting zoom is impossible to use. If we want to be able to see great screen to print match, see an image up on the screen, know that it's accurate. When we send it out to a professional lab, that print's going to come back and that screen is going to match the print. We're going to have to step up and buy a monitor that is capable of reproducing accurate colors. Now, a few different flavors of monitors that we need to jump on with. You already know that I'm a fan of ASO monitors, and yes, they're expensive monitors. I apologize. They make monitors for photographers from $900. You'll probably find $1,200 to $1,500 is where you want to go with the ASOs, however you want to pronounce it. And if you're really nuts, you can spend $6,000, and you ought to see that $6,000 monitor. It's awesome. I want to show you 3 monitors here that meet our requirements at Shoot Smarter as far as what is going to be good enough for you to work on if you're a wedding portrait senior photographer, and of course then again if you're a commercial photographer like me. There's a big difference in your monitors. Let's start off with the big boys. You know what other area besides file processing that we need to work on as photographers? Storage. Wow. File storage, file backup. How are we going to make sure that these images don't disappear? We're going to be able to name these and rename these and put them where they need to be. Wow. Hard drives on the computer, external hard drives. What's a RAID? What's iDrive? I know it gets all confusing, doesn't it? Okay. Let's simplify it, shall we? I've been working on this for 2 years, and I'm trying to find the smoothest, easiest way to bring files in to my main control center, which you see on the video screen, back them up again, and have access to those files as quickly as I can. Now, just because I'm going to show you on there that I'm using a Macintosh doesn't matter. It could have been a PC, doesn't matter at all. I'm going to be able to record images, so I'm going to hit my fill, and I'm going to hit -1. Next, we're going to have to do a custom white balance, because what color is the light that's bouncing off that wall? I don't know. What color is the light that's coming out of here? It's bouncing off the ceiling. I don't know. All I know is I'm going to shoot over here. And I've already got my ratio set up. And I want to get really great looking color. Now, auto white balance will do okay, but if it starts to see outside there, it's going to measure some of that data and it's going to go all over the place. And remember, my goal is to shoot it in the camera so I can go right to the printer and have it look terrific, right? Go to the lab and have it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot in this geographic area. Is it okay to take your picture, by the way? Yeah? Okay. I'm just going to use my custom white balance right here. I'm going to press, sorry. I'm going to press and hold my white balance. Okay, and I got a good. I don't know what they were doing. Are you a couple, by the way? Yeah? Oh, terrific. Okay, well, put your arm around her like you like her. Let's say I wanted to have more flash. Here's where we get into stops. Say I wanted more flash and less available light like this. That would be a 70% flash, which is 1 stop greater. When you set your camera to +1 stop, or you use your flash meter for +1 stop, you'll find out that you're going to get 70% flash and 30% available, and that's what it's going to look like. Your background's going to get darker. Why? Because you're only using 30% of the available light to make your total exposure. The majority of your exposure is coming from your flash. See it? You decide. If you look at that and go, ooh, that background's pretty dark, I don't know, that's not what I'm looking for, man. Well then, you're probably a 50-50. Watch this, we'll take a poll. We're gonna choose between a 50-50 fill and a +1 stop fill. We're gonna take a poll of see who likes which one's better. How many people between these two images, the one that's +1 stop and the balanced, how many people like the 50-50 the best? How many people like the +1 stop the best? See, it's usually 2/3, 1/3, we hit it right on the head. It's personal taste. That makes your photography different than your photography, which is why I love photography. I'm going to go to group number 1 on my pocket, on my Skyport, because that's what I've set this for. Okay, Albert, close your eyes, will you, bro? Okay, first thing I want to do is dial my exposures in. I'm going to shoot at f4 because I want a shallow depth of field. So I'm going to put my meter at ISO 200, and I'm going to measure, stay closed please, I'm going to measure underneath Albert's chin in flash mode at 60th of a second is typically where I sync at. And pointing back into the lens, it's f4 and 8/10, that's 8/10 of a stop hot, so I'm going to hit the minus button 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to let it beep to let it know that it's done. It's draining the power off right now.